When you log on to Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram, you probably don't think of what happens to all your photos and posts after you're gone. But as I learned, you don't want to leave your legacy in the dark. Meet Maxwell Ferguson, a typical West Texas teen, but by night, he goes by Fully Maxed. But it took work to get on that stage.
Yo, how are you doing so far?
Maxwell has spent his teen years building his music and network through a screen.
Without any of that social media stuff, I probably wouldn't be anywhere I am right now.
It all started back in 2013 when his grandfather introduced him to the music scene.
One day he showed me an electronic song and my mind just kind of, okay, this is what I want to do. So 2013, I started making music.
After spending hours on end creating tracks, he brings them to life on stage, amplifying his creations for the crowd. Here's Fully Maxed at Dude of the Dead, an annual music festival in Presidio.
So when I think of you,
with countless songs on websites like SoundCloud and Spotify, you could say Maxwell relies on the digital world to get his name and his music out there.
Without it, I wouldn't have any of my stage presence, and so, yeah, I mean, Facebook, it helps me a lot for when I'm in a competition or just SoundCloud is my main platform where I put all my music.
Just like any kid his age, this high school senior loves his phone. And all the social apps inside are basically ingrained in his DNA. Even his music is digitally produced. Just like Maxwell, most of us in this day and age display our lives online. But after you die, you live on forever in the digital world. The question is, how do you protect yourself?
Think about what would you want to have happen to your Facebook account? Who would you want to be able to access your computer if something happened to you?
Corey McDowell is a Midland attorney. He specializes in estate planning. He says if you don't include your online presence in your plans, your family members may end up in court to get access.
When we are going through the planning process with our clients, we pull out our digital planning page.
McDowell has his clients add a list of all their accounts and passwords to their will. You're probably thinking of your hundreds of photos on Instagram, and McDowell says if you're not backing them up,
most people don't even think about how they are going to make sure that those most valuable, most precious family memories get passed down to the next generation.
So who owns those pictures on social media?
With a lot of those accounts, you are a licensee and you are turning over certain rights when you post your pictures to Facebook and to Instagram.
Or in Maxwell's case, those songs on SoundCloud and Spotify. He's in an agreement to use that company's digital platform. McDowell says you have to remember you're only licensed to use the space. But at the same time, domain names, blogs, and in Maxwell's case, his Spotify and SoundCloud all have value that you want to protect. On SoundCloud's website, for instance, it states that copyright is automatically granted to the uploader, but the company does suggest having copyright documents from the government. You can visit World Intellectual Property Organization website to get that. You'd be surprised by how much digital information you keep on your computer, including your passwords. If any of that were to fall into the wrong hands.
You have a lot of problems with people having their account information stolen. So you have to be very careful who you give your account information to, even to your children sometimes.
As for Maxwell, he says he's not worried about what will happen to all his music if he dies. He says if Spotify keeps it, at least his name will live on. Whether you mean to or not, McDowell says you could actually be committing a crime by continuing using your loved one's account without notifying the service provider that they've died. Facebook, for instance, gives you the option to memorialize your account when you pass. To find out more about what happens to your Facebook and Instagram photos, visit cbs7.com/digitalafterlife. In the studio, Stephanie Bennett, CBS 7 News.